Alright, now some of you probably thought we were done with the handguns, but it turns out there are 3 handguns that are downloadable content. The first one I'm going to show is Jill's Samurai Edge. The standard weapon issued to members of Stars, made smaller for easier use. The medallion on the grip is a special light blue. Was that really necessary to put in the description? But anyway, here's the true Samurai Edge. And what I love about this weapon, this is the exact handgun from Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. So we haven't seen it for a freaking long time. But it looks better than ever. Now, of course, there's always a trade-off. Very, very slightly less powerful than the regular Beretta M92F, but it has a slightly faster firing speed and 1 extra slot for upgrades. So this is kind of a good weapon to use. Alright, let's test Jill's Samurai Edge out with Jill. Haha. Alright, so it fires and reloads very slightly faster than the M92F. Alright, let's test Jill's Samurai Edge on a ooze. Alright, so 7 shots from Jill's Samurai Edge to take down a standard ooze. So same amount of shots as the regular M92F. So just 10 points of damage difference, obviously, is not enough to make a difference in the shots. So I feel the PC-356 might have had a bad testing, but it's okay. Once again, I'm more or less showcasing the weapons rather than specifically reviewing them. So if you want to know the true damage difference between the weapons, then you could look at the firepower statistics that you could see when I begin each weapon. Luckily I did it from that screen, so you can do that. Alright, that is it for Jill's Samurai Edge. Now for the next DLC handgun, Parker's Government. Parker himself upgraded this government and favors using it in all of his missions, even since his time in the FBC. Now, the only difference between this government and the regular one is the look. As it turns out, this weapon's statistics all are worse than the government. Has slightly less firepower, has a less firing speed, and it has a lower capacity. So why the hell would you use this over the regular government, is my question. But anyway, it's a weapon, and we gotta test it out, so let's do that. Like, seriously, why would you use this over the regular government? Everything is slower, and the capacity is even less than the regular government. Whatever, let's test it on the news. Alright, so only 5 shots from Parker's government handgun to take down a standard ooze, which is quite interesting because the regular government took 6 shots. Must have been from where I fired the gun. I don't know. But even though that took less shots, the capacity is not worth it, in my opinion. Like, I had to reload in there because of that stupid-ass capacity. This is one of my least favorite weapons, and it's a shame because it's a DLC weapon. Alright, that is it for Parker's Government. Alright, now for the final handgun. Jessica's Glock 18. Upgraded with expensive parts and made small and light with higher accuracy. Now, comparing stats with the regular G18, the only difference I see with this one is the recoil. This weapon is lighter. Other than that, it's no better than the regular G18, so once again, why would you use it? Anyway, let's test it out. Alright, so Jessica's G18 fires slower than the regular G18, but reloads much faster, because it is very small and lightweight. Now let's see what the firepower difference will be. Let's test it on news. Oh my god, I didn't even realize that until he swung. Wow, that was awesome. Anyway, 9 shots from Jessica's G18 to take down a standard ooze. So it is a little more powerful than the standard G18, but at the same time, it has a lot less ammunition and it fires at a slower fire rate. So I don't know. If you're a power buff like me, I guess you would use this over the regular G18. And I will mention this, Parker capped off maybe 5 or 6 shots this time, so that might have contributed a little bit. I freaking hate the AI in this game. You can't control their actions at all. And their weapons are weak as hell, so it doesn't even help you inside the game. You know what's stupid? This game doesn't have co-op and campaign mode. It is really stupid. That is it for Jessica's G18, as well as all handguns. Alright, moving into my favorite weapon category, the Magnums. A weapon at the top of its class when it comes to power. Oh yeah, that is so true. And the first one is the Colt Python from Resident Evil 1 and Code Veronica. How nice. Alright, let's test it out. Alright, so that's what the Colt Python looks like in the over-the-shoulder view of Resident Evil. Now, can't really compare it to anything yet, since it's the first Magnum, so let's go ahead to the testing. Let's test the Python on a pincer ooze. Alright, so 2 shots from the Colt Python to take down a pincer ooze. Alright, that is it for the Python. Now for the next Magnum, the Lightning Hawk from Resident Evil 5. And 6, to be honest. Those 3 games all had the Lightning Hawk in it. Has 1 less upgrade space than the Python, and of course since it's the Magnum handgun and not a revolver, it has less firepower. But on the other hand, it has more firing speed and capacity. Let's test it out. Alright, so naturally, it fires faster and reloads faster than the revolver. But we all know that means it's going to be weaker in the testing. Maybe. We'll see. Alright, so 3 shots from the Lightning Hawk to take down a pincer ooze. It's very typical. Me personally, I do like the Python more because I am more of a power person than a capacity person. Alright, that is it for the Lightning Hawk, as well as the normal Magnums. Alright, now in raid mode, they have 4 extra weapons that are considered legendary. The handguns don't have this type of weapon, but all the other weapon classes do. Now the Magnum one is this really crazy looking thing. The Pale Rider. Now that is the longest barrel ever perceived in any game I've ever seen. It's like a freaking 2-foot barrel. Since this is raid mode, I want you to ignore the statistics. As you can see, it's level 44. The firepower is outrageous compared to the regular weapons I showed in campaign. Now the thing is, since this is raid mode, I can't really give you accurate damage rating. So these legendary weapons I am not going to be testing on enemies. I'm only gonna test them out and then move on. Alright, so let's test the crazy motherfucker of a Pale Rider out. By the way, this is the hand cannon of Resident Evil Revelations. So, Resident Evil 4, 5, and Revelations all have 3 Magnums. A revolver, a Magnum handgun, and a hand cannon. And the Pale Rider is the latter. Holy Jesus Christ, with that big ass barrel, takes forever to fire and reload. You'd be crazy not to use someone with Magnum Mastery if you plan to use this weapon in raid mode. I only used the simple character to show you the reality of speed and reload. So I'm not going to test it on an enemy for the sake of testing, but I will do my Magnum tradition, since this is the most powerful Magnum in the game. Alright, so I'm going to go to that other profile with the level 50 Grim Reaper Pale Rider, increase the damage as much as I possibly could on it, and then I'm going to put a charge shot 4 on it, and take it to a level 1 Ooze's head with fully charged shot. So this is going to produce the most possible amount of damage this game can offer, I bet. So here we go. Extreme headshot! Alright, that is it for the Pale Rider, as well as all the Magnums.